Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Damage Control. This is Mookie, joined with Darth, Weaver, and we're going to go ahead and break down and just bring up War Instincts back from the dead a little bit from our video archives. So, definitely, we're really going to be pinpointing the conversations Red Hulk. But a little bit I'm going to talk about is Spider Weaver and kind of just show what Darth and I have been doing on the defensive side of things with her. And also with the upcoming Underworld team. It's just things to kind of prepare for, so hopefully you guys enjoy the video, enjoy the content, and we don't do much content too much, but just here's our little taste of our content creating, I guess, if you want to call it that. Alright, but...
We don't do too much content.
No, alright. There's Darth. Yeah, no, I want to do more content, but there's a lot of recording, a lot of practicing, a lot of testing. Like you got to dig deep, and that's the main reason why you don't see it too much on the show. But I try to do my best, and when I do it, I'll share it. But I just don't. Unfortunately, I don't have the time with my day job and kids and daddy duties and stuff like that. It can become overwhelming. Yeah, I'm a dad, and it's overwhelming, but I'm still playing the game. I enjoy it here. And but yeah, let's break this down a little bit. So first, I'm gonna go into the gameplay. I wonder we may even have time to kind of do a little bit of a test here on our because right now we're in a cooldown side of Alliance War. But before I bring up the big video here with Red Hulk, I just want to make sure I don't miss on some other side things that's been happening on War recently. I think it's a big deal if you're really into the gameplay of War that you should start focusing on the Underworld team. Would you agree with me, Darth, or not?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I just did come to that with Red Hulk. I think I'd finished up the things I was prepared for, and yeah, Underworld came to the top for me.
Yeah, so I'm going to share where I've placed them currently, because I want to say long term, as this team starts unfolding, this team right here that I matched up with Spider Weaver. Really, the team is there. They're ready. The only thing that they're missing is Mr. Negative, right? And that's what I was kind of curious. I wonder if he's going to be the next Red Star feature character, or if it's going to be one of the Tangle Web.
He's the last character of the patch.
Okay.
If they follow their silhouettes, so we're gonna have 99 first, and then Spider-Man War, and then Mr. Negative.
Okay. So the question I have for you, Darth, because right now you have him on defense, and I'll jump onto yours in a second. But as soon as Mr. Negative comes out, is this team falling off on defense and become your new offensive team?
Yes.
Okay. It has to be, right? Because there are traits on there say war offense too. So there's some specific abilities that say war offense, not on both sides for defense. Okay. So I'm going to go into it here. I'm going to just kind of give one quick run, and we'll use Darth's setup here. I know you had originally... Did you have Spider Weaver on there originally?
Yeah. Do you want me to change it back?
No, it's fine. I mean, because this is kind of where I'm getting at. There's a video that Dorky Dad busted out with this other gentleman. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. But it is a cool video, and I know you saw it too, Darth, where the gentleman really broke down the passive ability for Taskmaster, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Right, yeah. So the more, if you put so once Mr. Negative comes out here, he's going to add like a boost because he's an Underworld trait. And of course, the other traits that they have is for the mercenaries. And so Taskmaster has this ability where if you try to do a mirror match, the way to manipulate and outspeed them is by getting him with one of those Underworld or mercenary traits. So the person of interest right here, and why I think you put him on here, because I kind of suggested it off that video a little bit, was Mark Lieutenant versus Spider Weaver. But I don't think there's that many people that are aware of that, or even trying to mirror match as much. Is the reason why I left Spider Weaver on my defense. Right? But here's kind of the point I'm getting at as we kind of throw a practice here. And they're just so fast. I mean, that I just wanted to highlight just how crazy that this team goes off. So again, I'm not worried about placements, but I'm really just kind of taking away the Underworld mercenary trait here by putting Spider Weaver in. Usually when you kind of have your new squad on there, and I saw some opponents, and this is why I'm doing it, I saw somebody try to mirror match me and they lost. And then I saw them going in with astonishing axemen, thinking that they can get speed boost, right? Because the summons come up and they lost.
And yeah, I had that happen to me too, and they got their butts kicked.
Yeah, and it's all because right here, man, they get the first turn on defense stuff,
Huh.
they wipe you out. I mean, it's insane, and then that's why that one video that Dorky Dad had with his friend is highlighting this. I haven't even gotten my turn out there. Game over. You know. So that's a highly recommended defense that I try to share with my team. And again, I mean, you play the game as you want. We're not an alliance that are cutthroat as far as on war and stuff like that, but just want to showcase that part of it. On the Underworld, just they're going to be an extremely fast team. So think about it on the offensive side. So once you get Mr. Negative on there, I mean, you're going to have some fun with that team.
Oh yeah.
And I think the true counters, just to kind of close up this conversation, that I personally have done off of my testing and then what I've seen happen against me is the number one. It's actually A Force. I've been seeing A Force having pretty good success on here. I saw one. There's that fifth spot that you kind of have to choose on who you want to plug in with the A Force, and
Mhm.
the one that I used on my testing was Doom,
Okay.
and that worked. The opponent that came in with their A Force against me brought in Silver Surfer.
Okay.
So basically, you can kind of bring one of your large characters with A Force, and they can get knocked out. Eternals.
This probably makes all that happen. Yeah.
hmm Eternals is the other team that I saw that I lost up against. But overall, I kind of like what you said. To me, those are all wins, right? Because normally those are the counters that you go with your Young Avengers or with your Asgardians that are using up. So
Yes.
it becomes one of those things on how you want to kind of balance and what the theory is and what you want to draw in by putting them on defense right now. The big news now, of course, on offensive side is you got the Gamma team, and I'm gonna show my team just so you can kind of see where they're at. I just recently did some more updates. I mean, each day I'm updating them. So last night I finally got them to the gear tier 16 across the board.
All that.
Yeah, I've been struggling on gold, man. I opened every single gold orb. I have nothing anymore, Darth. You'd be so proud
Uh,
about how my inventory looks like shit.
I am. That means that you match me, because I've been out of. I think to get Red Hulk up, I was literally using opening every gold orb that came and using every bit of gold and doing extra attacks in campaign to get my 26,000 gold to try to pump him up a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm happy and not happy. It's like I got out of my comfort zone. It's like I finally cleaned my closet out, and I'm like, oh my God, but I might need this now. And but anyways, but yeah, I just look at that, man. Yeah, I got them. So they look good. I had everything ready for them to go up, and but this is where they're currently at now. I wanted to talk about the ISO fours, and uh, thank you. Don't worry about me for the kind words about my team. Yeah, I got the skirmisher. I started doing some testing of them right when Red Hulk got out. There was some time that I unlocked at him and before next war, and I started testing it on Webb's defensive team because he had the dorm hold still set up, and I had her as a healer, and I think I had him as a healer too because back then I already kind of had resources already towards healer for She-Hulk. And I just looked at his kid and I thought like, oh, you know what? Why not make him beefier? Just keep punching him. Maybe it could have that same type of Spider Girl effect, for the Doc Ock, or like I. That's kind of where my theory was getting at by keeping him that way. But when you're going up in matches and you're trying to face and you need to knock people out, and really when you're facing the large and they're gonna be large Darko teams, to try to land these abilities where you're trying to stun them, I mean, it's you're not gonna get it unless you start putting that skirmisher trait flat out. I mean, I was very unsuccessful, but still, this is still kind of not like it's still like 50-50, even with the skirmisher. But at least you get a punching chance at it. Same thing with this guy. This guy's very sneaky good. I think the biggest thing off of his kit. I'm trying to find which one is his stun. I think he has a stun one. No, my bad. The one that has a stun is the abomination. But it's this particular move over here that I think it's on his. This the steel one. Which one's the steel? Is it the old? No, 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 no. I'm sorry, but his ultimate is where he steals the health. So this is kind of like if you're coming on the dead, it kind of gives that Minerva effect. So
Yes.
he steals 20% health. I haven't upgraded it yet because look, even my T4s I'm struggling with. But this one I want to get that added still of 20% and reduce. Look at that redistribution of another 200 plus. It's an essential in my opinion.
Full heal. It's a
Hmm.
full heal.
Yeah, but the one that I was talking about going back to She-Hulk is where is it's on her passive too, right? She throws off like I mean, there's something. I mean, I don't have it all memorized, but I know that there's something where like if all the negative debuffs is on her team, she throws it right back to the other opponent. Did she also already talked about? There's one here like they're reducing speed, so everything within the kits it starts working beautifully as you start going against these other teams, which is kind of where I'm segueing that as far as getting into that main video here. So let me just jump right into it. So this is just your G16s across the board here with the, and they still had these buffs going on here, and I had to go against that defensive down room as well. All right, so yeah, it was just all for testing here. I mean, because again, we don't take our words too serious sometimes, for most time.
And most of the time we don't. I think we take it serious for the last hour if we're close.
Yeah. So here, the biggest things I would tell you from my experience of what I've learned is that you want to chase after Morgan Le Fay to remove that revive. This had pretty good placement in a sense that she's next to Dorm, and that worked in my favor because then now I can reduce because this special off of it not only removes the revive, but it's gonna go ahead and put that speed down as well. It's gonna rewind. So the placement there kind of worked to my advantage where Dorm is even slower to get his first moves off. But those are only two to get hit, right? Now, I don't know the other thing. If you look at the bottom of my little notes here, in-game notes, that's the main. I'm low on T4s. My priority was that move right there because in my testing, if you don't rewind them and allow them to kind of get going, it kind of goes backwards for you. So I did put the T4 ability to get that extra speed rewind effect there.
Okay.
All right. So here's my thing. This is where my stunner comes in from Abomination, right? I want us to be able to stun him to not get taunted. Didn't work. And then I'm like, all right, well, damn. Now here's the still what I meant with Braun. So Braun, whenever he comes up, you have to look who has the most positive effects on there, right? That you want to go after. And on this team, it's for me, it's getting the defensive up, the disrupt, or I forgot the deflect, and then the def over there from Morgan. I'm sorry, from Agatha. So I actually target Agatha to steal her positive abilities and share to the team. Again, I'm just learning, so I'm still double checking the notes, making sure I picked the right one. So get that going over there. And the biggest thing is that they have so much to sustain as a team. I'm taking these hits. And then here it is where I'm like, okay, round two, let me try to get that
Oh,
stun. That's not working. So that's all for naught. So here you go. So now I'm stuck behind a taunt, which I did not want because I wanted to go back and focus. On paper, you want to stun Wong first time, stun Agatha if you're really doing good on the stuns, and then kill Morgan, and you really got the match in your hands. You follow that part,
mhm.
right?
I
If you
do.
can, yeah,
Yes.
you stun them, and then you kill Morgan Le Fay. That's 100% the direction you want to go when you play this matchup. And again, it didn't go my way. So here I am. Now I don't have any control. It's gonna allow them to start going and doing their things. Really, at this point, it's just a matter of the Red Hulk being survived. So the second tip I would say, even though he's at 3 stars, I did get him up to that gear 16 level. I think at this point, the only ones that weren't geared up at the time were She-Hulk. I'm sorry, Abomination and Braun. But anyways, but this is where the thing goes in your favor. If he can withstand those barrages there, and he gets his ult off, and then this is kind of where you'll see things start coming back into my favor. So it's the bat. I don't know if this the battlefield effect is working or not. To me, I think it did. I mean, I forget what the true details of
It
are,
works
but I
now.
have trauma up on them, so I believe it worked. And now I can do the speed rewind over here, try to kill. But I'm stuck behind a taunt, but I still wanted to rewind their speed ability. But again, not being without the taunt, I would highly recommend you just go after someone else and remove their revive. But yeah, so now that Dorm's on the ropes and his disrupt was flipped, his immunity was flipped, I'm going after him. So that's my first priority target at this point. I don't want his ult to go off,
Mhm.
so I'm going after him. And I lost a character there.
Hulk is such a beast.
Yeah, he was on the ropes about like 10,000 times in my match, and he kept just getting pissed off, and speed boost and health was coming his way.
The the speed bar mechanic where he dips back and forth over 50% and clears his buffs and gives him a speed bar is crazy. When I was doing the Scourge event, I think he took 4 turns in a row
Yeah.
because of how the speed bar was working out.
Hmm. So this hit normally like just kills your team, right? But this one they withstanded it all.
Yeah, that actually is what killed my team when I on my match was the strange.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know. So it looks like I'm on the ropes a little bit, but on this one right here, I'm just thinking to myself that I can't. Morgan's just she's an annoyance of how she reheals that I took her away. I was like, you know what? I got the revise off of these characters over here. I'm gonna focus on them until I saw like where I can't see the little icons, but I honestly I kind of follow the defensive downs. If I see a defensive down on there, I know this team is gonna punch them pretty hard and wipe them off. But yeah, so then at this point, I'm not really worried about Strange. I know his ult already went off. I'm more worried about Morgan Le Fay now. And I just know I need to get her out there before she starts doing all this shit. And I'm like panicking. I have 40 seconds left. And I just said, you know what? And this is where that skirmisher trait came into play for me because now Hulk can go ahead and get 2 hits and do his thing. There's the stun
so
finally.
good.
So She-Hulk got the
Yeah,
stun. And I just went on auto at this point trying to make sure I get it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to take away from the video. I mean, I'll let you know. I mean, part of me feels like I guess. I mean, it was luck, but I would argue I don't feel like it was that lucky because I didn't get the stuns off in the beginning.
Mhm.
I guess it kind of went both ways. I mean, it's one of those takeaways there. I'm going to share it though. But I think overall, the gist of what I would say is that this particular team, and as I'm trying to bring up the gameplay here, they are a counter for Dorm. I mean, again, this is not like a purely when you look at the main guy right here, Red Hulk, he's only at 3 stars. So once the event ends and we start getting our final leaderboard points, he's gonna start increasing up, get the red stars on him, and then forget it. Like I just think at that point, that's gonna be a match, and I don't know. I mean, and then of course this is a Gamma team, right? So you're gonna start getting her up to 4 levels, ISO 4, and start working them up. So as they continue to build up versus the build up that you currently have with the Dark Code and with the war abilities and stuff like that, this is a true counter here that's gonna be able to go in and take out those Dark Codes. I did have a video with the Dark Code team, but I was having issues with trying to edit it and trying to upload it, but that was another punch up that I had. I think it's easier. Did you who who did you also test this team with on War?
I took a regular Dorm Darkhold team without Dorm.
And
The war
and
before,
and you were
easy
successful
peasy.
now. Yeah, it is
Yeah, it was
right.
only a punch across. It was very simple.
Yeah,
There was no issue with that.
exactly. So that's what I was gonna get at is that this yeah they're straight up Dark Code. They just smash them. Dorm puts a little bit into it there, a little bit more tricks, but you can still accomplish what you need to. Um,
So, since we're talking about Gamma, just a couple questions for you. The first one is, who do you feel is the most important character to level up to 90 first?
just for me, I want to say Red Hulk just because of the whole. When you're talking about if you include Hulk, Red Hulk, I think it's
Oh,
it's him. But these four right here, I would say this guy. I mean, did you see what he was doing? Like,
Yes. That's
uh,
the answer. That's my answer for the overall team,
yeah.
for everybody, including Red Hulk,
Okay.
because he takes the hits and takes the turns and does everything else.
I don't even have this T40 yet, man. I'm so pissed. I have no freaking T4s.
Are they all in your Wakanda team?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so
They-
we talked about that before, where I think that's where all my I didn't put any T4s into Wakanda, so that's where all my T4s came from.
I have nothing here, and I'm just looking at this, and this team, yeah, it's definitely going to be T4 all the way across. I mean, this is people you're going to be, facing against and against other alliances and stuff in war or whatever game modes. Crucible, just imagine when they come in Cosmic Crucible too. It's just, yeah, I ran out of T4s, but to what you're getting at, this ability, this passive right there, when it feeds to speed bar, adding another
Hmm.
25% when he's below, and what you saw in video was without it, so it just
Yes.
becomes even more crazy. And look, Phil, another 5% when an enemy attacks the gamma. I just, yeah. But I think the only reason why I say, I mean, yeah, it's definitely, it's 1A, 1B, I guess you can say, between Red Hulk and the OG Hulk. Only reason why I just kind of lean towards him is just because of overall direction of the game. And I
Right.
think, like, if you're looking into the horseman aspect of it and wanting that horseman team member all across the board and ready, that's kind of the reason why I kind of say that. But the truth is, right?
Second.
You hit me off and be like, well, in order to unlock and get to his Apocalypse Saga event, you still got to get Hulk to 90 anyways. So,
Hmm. So here is the second question of that: Who's the Scarlet Witch or the Phantom X on this team, or is there one?
I'm gonna say there's not one.
That's
Um,
my answer too.
I don't think there's one that they or so. I mean, they have different things that they add to the team that are of high value. Um, it's funny. I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if you have to force me into saying which one is, what's funny is I would say Red Hulk. Only because on his particular ultimate here, when we talk about this whole gamma radiation thing, I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm looking at it here because I'm probably putting my foot in my mouth. I thought that this was just more of a war trait, but no, he does it on all game modes, right?
He did it in Scourge even.
Okay.
It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. That's what, but that was my point though. I don't think there's a replaceable character on this team.
Oh,
It was easy enough to whip out Phantom X on Unlimited. It was easy enough to whip out Scarlet X on Dark, or Scarlet Witch, excuse me. But I don't think there's a character to replace on this team. I don't think that you're going to improve this team in any fashion by replacing any of those characters.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even with Dormammu, I think that removing any of those characters and putting with Dormammu makes a worse team.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I think if somebody wanted to do that, maybe She-Hulk out of
See,
it, but
and that's your first instinct, but you play with her enough and you realize, man, it is sure nice that every time you get hit 5 times, she rips off all of your debuffs and throws them on somebody on the other team.
hmm
Like that, I found that move alone to be invaluable. Plus, she does turn meter rewind and a stun. Like her kit is top notch.
yeah, no, yeah, no, you hit it. I mean, like, yeah, this is one that you can definitely feel comfortable as far as like leveling across all the board. There's not one that you're gonna leave straggling behind, like your Scarlet Witch or your Phantom X. I guess as we kind of close it off here, question back to you, Darth. Um, for your ISO 4, as we got all these new milestones going through, and I feel like we're starting to get a nice little abundance of those credits coming through to us. Did you see? I already put my ISO 4 on Red Hulk.
Did you get a striker? Is that what I saw?
Yeah,
You made a different choice than I did.
I think you went
I
with
like it.
the Raider.
I went with Raider. Yeah,
I kind of, I'm
we'll
pausing
see.
because I think that was a good choice. I don't think either one is the right or wrong one. I think the more plus side and where I look towards you and I kind of second guess myself is when we talk about the whole horseman team. I think I have them all as freaking strikers right now.
And that's the other reason why I did it, because my Morgan is a skirmisher, my Rogue is a striker, and now my Red Hulk is a Raider.
Yeah, look at that. Striker, striker, striker. That's like shit. And then to me, there's no turning back now. I mean, shit, you know how long it
You
takes
got
to
to
get
follow the
freaking
score like
four?
that.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
no
like
change.
420. Yep.
So,
Well, that
dude,
means that
yeah,
you'll need to put some vulnerables on the field with the next horseman.
I know. And he's going to have
But you
nothing
know
but a
what?
striker trait, whoever that is.
Just ever it is. All of them strikers. Fuck it. Apocalypse will be a raider.
I don't know. No, yeah. So then that part, yeah, that long term, I would definitely be like, hey, you know what? Raiders the way to go. And you said that you have Morgan Le Fay as a skirmisher?
Do. Yeah, and I just switched her back. I had her to a level 3 striker, and because striker with Morgan Le Fay is disgusting. If you can hit somebody with a vulnerable, like that secondary hit is so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I found myself not landing my debuffs any longer in arena against the enemy Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah,
So I switched it back to skirmisher just for the extra focus.
yeah. All right. But I was just looking at the chat. Thank you, Steve Freeze, for the kind words. Um, yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, I think that's it. I mean, nothing else really to kind of break down. I mean, the video is a little bit longer than what I anticipate recording, but I'll edit up a little bit of it. Um, I just yeah, the I think the war game, and this is kind of getting back to the whole theory of I think this weekend's conversation about having fun. Um, with all the bugs and stuff that's been going on with 6.4 and this and that, I mean, there's so much stuff to look forward to. The whole Underworld team that we just kind of recapped on the defense. You got Gamma now working on the war offense. It kind of revived my excitement for the Alliance War. And that's kind of when I went in the way I did with yesterday's war. I had fun with it. I focused more into it. I almost knocked out three dorm teams. The one team that I did it with that in that video that you saw. I did it with Weapon X. And then the third one was when someone tried to put Dorm onto the hero Asgard, and I went in with the Eternals. And I already knew that the Eternals would flip that immunity,
Yeah.
for Dorm. And I had him on the ropes, man. I had Dorm what I needed to, but it came one of those. It came into a position where I was kind of forced to strike. And it was like a spread AoE type attack where I was gonna kill an Asgard, and I didn't want to. And I did because I had no other option. And I freaking killed a Valkyrie, and then she revived and gave all that freaking positive and so when that whole flipped on everybody, plus she still had a revive to do it. That's where I was pissed. I was like, damn it. Yeah, they got me on that one, but I still was able to take out the dorm and left it up for someone else for an easy cleanup, I guess you can say. But
That counts.
yeah, it was. But I had fun, man. I'm just telling you. So my whole thing is like, I had excitement with that. Now we got the tower mode coming through that we just talked about. We also got Cosmic Crucible season one coming up. I get to go against my buddy Morlick, who's on my
Hopefully.
alliance here. Yeah, hopefully, because on the way they had the rankings, normally this is how you kind of look at it. It's funny to have like 1 versus 8 and then 2 versus 7. So I'm gonna be 4 versus 5. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be playing against Morlick. I'll be going against Nexter first, but there's Morlick, so we'll see. But all that, again, it's just a little fun that I'm having with my alliance here, and hopefully you guys continue to kind of share the same sentiment. And if you don't, and I don't mean to come off rude about it, but it's just kind of rethinking habits. Is it becomes you're becoming too addictive between the game? Are you purchasing too much? Are you doing certain things there because you're not gonna beat? And that's the other thing that Hargrave said. I keep hitting on him. You're not gonna
It's great.
you're not gonna beat the what is it, the casino? Like you're
You
not
can't
gonna
beat the game. Yeah, you
yeah,
don't ever beat the house, and you're not going to beat this game.
the house. Yeah.
So like, you have to enjoy the play and know that you're not going to be the top spot, and it should be easy for almost everybody.
Yeah.
But the competitive aspect drives people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get it. Yeah, exactly him, and that's kind of what I end up purchasing the characters for that competitive edge to kind of get the first character. But that's where I kind of stay at, and I don't go past that part. So, all right, well that's it for the show. Thanks to you all for tuning in. I'll upload this later, and hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Hope you enjoy the game, and we'll try to catch this next Sunday. And see you then. Bye bye.